Hi, my name is Rachel Ziegler, and I'm an organizer with Direct Action Everywhere in the SF Bay Area chapter. Today I'm going to be talking about what to expect when getting arrested and how you can prepare physically and emotionally. This will be part one of a two-part training.
The purpose of the training today is to prepare you for taking bold action for animals. The goal is for you to come out of it with a better and more realistic understanding of what you could logistically, physically, and emotionally expect when getting arrested, held in jail, and housed. I would like to add that this is a general training about a hypothetical scenario in which you might get arrested, and that this is not a training that is for any specific event. Just a disclaimer is that I am not a lawyer. What I am telling you is based off of my own personal experiences as well as things I have been told by lawyers. The trainings team has also run the content of this training by the DXC legal team and a lawyer in order to check for accuracy. So now I'll jump right in with talking about legal terminology. The first term is detained. Typically, the police will question you, run your license, and then release you if they don't have any evidence to arrest you, lost interest in arresting you, or their superior gives them orders not to arrest. You should identify yourself but not answer any questions about the event that led to you being detained. Police legally need reasonable suspicion that illegal activity has taken place to detain you, but they have great discretion and can detain you for just about any reason or no reason at all. The next term is cited and released. In this case, you are arrested and given a ticket that has a court date on it. You will not be taken to jail, and you must appear at your court date or a warrant for your arrest will be issued. This is common for political protests and minor crimes in progressive areas. Next term is arrested. You are now in legal custody and will likely either be cited or taken to jail where you may be charged criminally. Police technically need probable cause to conduct a full arrest, but like a cite and release, they have discretion and can and do arrest whenever they want to, knowing that the worst that can happen is the district attorney will dismiss the charge. When arrested, you will be charged. The initial charges can always be reduced, dropped, or increased. Mostly, we've experienced a limbo between these three options. The charges aren't filed, but the investigation remains open. You will have to show up to court if charges are filed. If charges are dropped, you won't have to show up to court if you know about it in advance. If you have any doubt, go to court. The next term is taken to booking. This is when you are taken to an actual building where you will sit and wait until you are processed, like fingerprints, DNA swab, etc., and are either bailed out or you see a judge. Housing. This is when you are staying overnight and put into a separate area of the jail, put into their uniform, stripped, searched, and given a bed. Sentenced. This is jail or prison. Jail is short term, typically 1 year or less. Prison is long term, typically over 1 year. The last term is bail. This is an amount of money that you can pay to be released from jail. It is dependent on the crime you are accused of, and sometimes it's not even offered. DXC has decided to take the position of jail no bail in mass arrest situations. This is something the civil rights movement did because it was more powerful of a statement. Of course, individuals can choose to bail themselves out, especially if they have a medical condition. The next thing I'll get into is police behavior. Sometimes the police will be really rough or aggressive. Other times they will be gentle and take their time. Sometimes police are even confused by the situation or by their chain of command. Police can also be very dramatic about the arrest. This will vary for who you are, but also who they are, and how agitated they are, what their personal stance is on what you're doing, how severe the quote crime was, your actions during the action, and your attitude towards the police. If someone is rude to the police, they may take this out on the rest of the group and vice versa if you're polite. Even if you are angry or upset, try to be as polite and respectful as you can possibly be. So I want to elaborate on the fact that experiences will vary. Every experience will probably be a little bit different depending on who you are, such as your race, gender, your ethnicity, class, abilities, and age. What you can almost certainly expect is that getting arrested and going to booking is not going to be a quick process. It may take 5 hours, it may take 10 hours, and it may take days. You do have the right to see a judge for an arraignment within 2 business days, but the judge is not there on the weekends, so 2 business days does not include the weekends. Also to note that the more people who are arrested with you, the longer it will take. Alright, now I want to get into things you might want to consider before getting involved in a situation where arrest may occur. One of the questions you might want to ask yourself is, will my job be in jeopardy as a result? And am I okay with that? Can I emotionally handle sitting still for hours at a time? Can I handle being treated with disrespect and anger from authority without lashing out? Can I be out of commission in my regular life for a few days? Who will suffer if I am away? What arrangements need to be made beforehand? So things to prepare before arrest. If you know you're going to be on a high-risk team, it's best to prepare for the chance of arrest. So one thing you might want to think about are companion animals, human children, or other dependencies. Do you have someone who can take care of them? Another thing you want to think about is your job. It might be a good idea to request a few days off ahead of time. As far as preparing closer to the time of arrest, one thing you'll want to do is write down a phone number. You can write down any phone numbers that you need on your body, but try to put it in a place that isn't easily visible, because we've seen in the past that police officers have tried to use this as a way to say that we were part of a conspiracy. Some important phone numbers that you probably want to write down are a lawyer or a legal contact, a parent, or a person watching over your loved ones. Another way to prepare for arrest beforehand is to secure your phone. So one thing you'll want to do is turn off your facial recognition feature or fingerprint. Set it to only be able to unlock through typing in a code. The reason for this is that police cannot force you to type in a code. Legally, they must obtain a search warrant to look at your phone. If you have facial recognition, the police could unlock your phone by putting it up to your face, even though this is an illegal search. At the end of the day, it's their word against yours. If anyone is present at the time that you are asked to unlock your phone or give consent, ask that person to record the fact that you have refused and say, I do not give consent to search or unlock my phone. And as for the day of and preparing for getting arrested, take as little with you as possible. This includes not wearing or bringing anything precious or expensive because there's no guarantee to get it back. Have an ID with you and expect that your cameras, computer, and phone could get taken for evidence and kept up to years if you go to trial. If possible, try to hand this stuff off to people before getting arrested if you must have it on you. Now, what to generally expect when getting arrested. Getting arrested, especially for the first time, can be really scary. Your heart might be racing, adrenaline might be running, you might be feeling really uncertain about what's going to happen, where you're going, and how long you will be in custody, when you get home, etc. If you're someone who has a lot of anxiety in stressful situations, you may find it difficult to stay calm and not talk to the police. Remember that in most cases, nothing horrible is going to happen to you, and when you look back, you'll hopefully realize it wasn't as scary as you thought it would be at the time. Again, just be patient. Everything is going to take a really long time. That's not to say that going to jail can't be a difficult experience, because it is set up to be pretty miserable for you in order to deter you in the future. Some ways that you can emotionally prepare yourself in jail is to expect to be bored, cold, hungry, tired, uncomfortable, made fun of by officers for your beliefs, mocked for your appearance, belittled, insulted, dismissed, yelled at, treated like a criminal, and forgotten about. Prepare to not have your questions or your needs taken seriously. Prepare to be physically uncomfortable pretty much the entire time. Remember that when you are entering into the world of the criminal justice system, it is not like the outside world. The police are not your friends, and they do not have your best interests in mind. You no longer have control over your life or what happens to you, and accepting the circumstances and making the best out of it is all you can really do. As far as how to treat the police, don't ask the cops any questions. Instead, ask the legal defense person whose number you wrote on you. Don't be sarcastic or have an attitude. Sarcasm is bad for 2 reasons. One, it will piss them off, and they can coldly report the words that you said without the tone and use this against you in court. The second reason is that showing police disrespect will often result in them treating you and those around you worse. Remind people to be compassionate and respectful of cops, even if you don't like or respect them. They have control over you, you do not. Next, being arrested. This is what logistically happens. The police will first zip tie or cuff you. They usually ask you if you have anything sharp in your pockets and then pat you down and empty your pockets. Don't bring anything sharp with you, not even a pocket knife, as this can be used to increase the charges. They will usually put all of your belongings in a bag and label them. They will ask you for your name, date of birth, and address, or for your ID if it's not in your belongings already. They will write down everything that they took off of you. You'll be loaded into a police car or a bus or van, and you'll be taken to a local police station. It's important to note that there is a correct and incorrect way to have your hands when being handcuffed or zip-tied. Being handcuffed or zip-tied while sitting in a car or bus is very uncomfortable and can even cause serious nerve damage. The correct way to put your hands in handcuffs is to have your thumbs together towards your body to protect against permanent nerve damage. Also to note that if your zip ties or handcuffs are loose enough to where you can fit your hands out of them, you should not do that. The police could say that you attempted to escape, and they could then add an additional charge onto you. Thank you for taking this training. I hope that you learned a lot, and please look out for part 2 of the training for what to expect when getting arrested. Thank you.